Hola chicos y chicas. Today we are going to start with capítulo 1 y este capítulo se llaman familiares y amigos. And based on this picture right here, can you guess what that means, I hope? Familiares are relatives or family members y amigos son tus amigos, your friends. So in this chapter, we're going to cover things like adjectives to describe the people that you know, questions and getting to know people. We'll do a little review of those. Some verbs to say what you like to do in your free time. We'll talk about likes and dislikes, all of that good stuff. So some of what I'm covering in this video is going to be review for you guys. But on the next few pages, you are just going to be filling in your green packet notes, your chapter 1.1 packet notes. And we are going to do the first 3 pages. And it will look exactly like it does in your note packet, so you'll see what I mean. So you can flip over to the back of the first page here, and you will see los adjetivos y descripciones. So first of all, I want you to fill in the very top that says yo soy ... So as you know already, that is how you say I am. So when you want to describe yourself in a certain way, you will start with yo soy. And then underneath that, you can see there are a list of adjectives that we're going to fill in. So if I scroll down here, you can see all the ones that you have in front of you. And each adjective, if it ends in an O, also has this A in parentheses. And that is because, as I'm sure you've heard before, Spanish adjectives or Spanish description words have a gender. So they can be either masculine or feminine. Now, some of them have to change. If it's masculine, it has to end in an O. If it's feminine, it has to change to an A. But if the adjective ends in a consonant like an L in intelectual, or in the letter E, like the word inteligente, then we do not have to change it to match the person that we are describing. So we're going to talk more tomorrow about matching nouns with adjectives. So for today, we're just going to fill this, fill this list in so that you can remember what some of these adjectives mean. So we'll start with pelirrojo. Pelirrojo is the word for redhead. And as you're filling these in, you can also jot down any questions that you might have off to the side so that you remember to ask me them tomorrow when I go over these things. So pelirrojo, redhead. Moreno is the word that we use to describe someone that's brunette. So you can use moreno for dark hair. You can use moreno to say that someone has dark skin, but it does mean the word brunette. So we can write all dark features or brunette there. Rubio is the word for blonde. Guapo is the word for good looking. We don't want to necessarily say handsome because we can use that for females too if we say guapa, and we don't typically say that females are handsome. So that's why I wrote good looking. The word perezoso is lazy. Intelectual is intellectual or smart. And then inteligente, kind of the same thing, intelligent or smart. Serio is serious. Bajo is short, and alto is tall. Tímido is shy. Gracioso, funny. This one, gracioso, can also mean witty. Like I'm sure you've heard quick-witted before. Cómico is funny. Simpático is nice, or it can mean kind. And Antipático is the opposite, so mean. Extrovertido is outgoing. Tonto is the word we use for like silly or foolish. Trabajador is hardworking. And trabajador is a little unusual in that if we're describing a female that's hardworking, we have to add an A to the end of that. So it would be ella es trabajadora. Okay, a couple full sentences here. This one, tengo pelo blanc y ojos blanc. This is just a complete sentence to show you how to describe your hair color and your eye color. So if I wanted to say I have blonde hair and blue eyes, I could say tengo pelo rubio y ojos azules. So you don't have to match the person that you're describing here, because in this case we're describing the pelo. So that's why it's pelo rubio, and then ojos is plural, so azules also has to be plural. So again, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I just wanted to point out why those things end in S's. The next one says tengo pelo castaño y ojos de color café. So just to give you an example, I have brown hair and brown eyes. Okay, and then the last one, muy, is how to say very. So you can add muy in front of any of these adjectives up on top to say very blonde, muy rubio, or very lazy, muy perezoso. Okay, so there is your list of adjetivos y descripciones. If we keep going to the next page, hay una lista de preguntas, a list of questions. And I know we went over some of these, but not all of them. So we went over como eres tú, but we didn't really talk about como estás. So remember that como eres tú is asking for a description of yourself, whereas como estás is asking how are you today? How are you feeling? So the difference is that the first one uses the verb ser, and the second one uses the verb estar. And remember that there is quite a big difference between ser and estar. So how are you, meaning what are you like, versus how are you right now? The next question, ¿qué haces todas las mañanas? Is what do you do every morning? So we're going to be talking about some routine type verbs. ¿Cómo son tus amigos? ¿Cómo son tus padres? This is asking what are your friends or your parents like, meaning give us a description. And then the last one, ¿qué hacen tus amigos los fines de semana? What do your friends do on the weekends? Okay, and here's the last page we're going to do today. This is just a list of some verbs that you may want to know for this unit, and then also some routine type sentences or verbs that you're going to use to describe what you do every day or activities that you enjoy or maybe don't enjoy doing. Okay, so the first one is actually how to say that someone uses a wheelchair. So it says, estoy en una silla de ruedas. Okay, that's something that we're going to come across in a reading that we're going to do. The second one, los fines de semana, is the word for weekends. So it really means the ends of the week or the weekends. The next couple use the verb jugar. So the first one, jugar al tenis, is to play tennis. And jugar al ajedrez is to play chess. I don't know if there are any chess players out there. Maybe you can teach me. Me levanto and me baño are two routine type verbs. So me levanto is I get up. And me baño, I bathe, or I wash myself, in other words. Montar en bicicleta is to ride a bike. Todos los días is every day. Ver la televisión is to watch TV. traer películas, to bring movies, and then alquilar películas, to rent movies. And then the last two are to show you how you could introduce someone to someone else. So, mi amigo se llama Jorge is my friend's name is Jorge. So then I left the last one blank just to show you how to introduce somebody different. So you could say, mi madre se llama Catalina. My mom's name is Catherine. Y eso es todo para hoy. That is it for today. So what I want you to do before class is I would like you to write 2 sentences describing yourself using yo soy, and then use 2 adjectives in a sentence that do not describe you. So you'll use yo no soy. So I'm going to give you an example for myself, and I do not want you to copy my example word for word. I want you to come up with something else. But I'm going to do 2 sentences starting with yo soy and 2 sentences starting with yo no soy. So, por ejemplo, for example, I could say yo soy baja. I'm pretty short, so yo soy baja. And yo soy inteligente. I'm smart. And then 2 things I'm not. So I'll start with yo no soy this time. So let's say yo no soy perezosa. And yo no soy antipática. Okay, so keep in mind that if you're a male, you want those adjectives to match your gender. So if you're a male, your adjectives need to end in an O. If you're a female, your adjectives should end in an A, unless you're using an adjective that ends in an E or a consonant like L or R. Okay, so 2 sentences that describe yourself, 2 sentences that do not describe you. And that's it. I'm going to be checking these next class for completion, so please make sure that they are all filled out. Y tengan un buen día. Adiós.